first time. A fire in Chillicothe kills a mother and son. And in sports, Ohio softball travels to Oxford to face the Miami Redhawks in a diamond edition of the Battle of the Bricks. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Curtis Fader, and welcome to Newswatch, your source for the latest news impacting southeastern Ohio. After a weekend of snow and low temperatures, people spent today outside enjoying the nice degree weather. Students and locals in Athens broke out their sunglasses and hammocks, all to get a good taste of the warm weather. Many enjoyed their lunch outside today in the 70-degree weather. Now, indeed, it is 70-degree weather today. I've been enjoying this. Is this going to last?
Oh, Curtis, unfortunately, it's not going to last because we have rain moving in as soon as tonight, but I hope you've been able to enjoy that weather today because, again, it's been really nice outside. We've reached temperatures close to 80 degrees. It's been insane. It
is insane. I mean, I matched my sunglasses to this tie today because it's been a brilliant day, but it's going to be colder now?
Yeah, so actually, as we head into the weather as in tonight, we're actually looking at some temperatures that are going to increase to about 40 degrees, decrease to about 40 degrees. And that's been the trend generally throughout the day, the evening tonight, actually. We've seen temperatures from 39 degrees in Athens, and then you see that warmth just rise from the south, reaching high of 82 degrees today. And as we look into the rest of the week, we can start to see that those temperatures are going to actually decrease. And because of those really warm temperatures and low humidity and high winds that we've seen today, the National Weather Service issued what's called a red flag warning. That just means that conditions are favorable if you light an open flame outside. Conditions are favorable for that fire to spread rapidly. And that, again, is because of low humidity as well as high winds. And so that's the reason why most of our viewing area is under this red flag warning. So if you're out enjoying the very nice weather, make sure that you are doing it safely. Make sure that you're not lighting any fires today because, again, we want to keep our environment nice and safe. But today, right now, it's a high of 81 degrees. And then across our region, expect temperatures to be in the upper 70s to lower 80s as well. I'm tracking this storm out here out west, and I'll talk about it more in my full forecast. But for now, back to you, Curtis.
Thanks, Aaron. The Democratic candidates for governor met for their first debate before the May 3rd primary. John Cranley and Nan Whaley are running against each other to win the Democratic nomination for the general election. Whaley says her focus is on lowering utility costs, while Cranley's position includes a temporary reduction in gas tax and a dividend for low-income families. Both candidates want to implement tougher gun laws and loosen restrictions on abortion. But other than policy, a big focus was Mike DeWine, who was more likely to defeat him.
We're all Democrats. We share the same values. We have the same goals. This primary is about one thing: who is best to beat Mike DeWine?
An Ohio University student who is accused of urinating on the door of a dorm room has pleaded not guilty to a charge of criminal mischief. Brady Linkle and his attorney Susan Gwynn filed a plea one day before the 19-year-old's arraignment. According to Ohio University police report, Lincoln urinated on the door of resident advisor Christopher Brown. Brown posted photos of the incident on Twitter, along with the text that says he is the only black RA on that floor. Brown tells WOUB that he believes he was targeted by Linkle, but OUPD says they were unable to establish a motive in the case and found no implications that Brown was targeted. Linkle's pretrial hearing is scheduled for tomorrow. A fire in southern Ohio kills a woman and her 10-year-old nephew early this morning. The fire took place on Ewing Street in Chillicothe at 1:15 a.m. Authorities say Hyde Prohl and Shane Lane Jr. were sleeping in a loft above a garage when the fire started, and they were found shortly after emergency responders arrived at the scene. It wasn't clear if anyone else was in the home when the fire began, but no other injuries have been reported. WOWK reports that Lane's father says though it wouldn't bring his son back, he appreciates the support from the community. Authorities are still investigating the cause of the fire. Gas and grocery prices will not go back down anytime soon. Some new government forecasts show you might even have to pay more for those commodities in the coming months. Amy Kiley looks at the factors working against your wallet.
New federal forecasts show food prices will likely keep climbing. The average cost of gas will stay high or may even rise. The USDA now predicts grocery prices will increase up to 4% throughout this year, and the average cost of dining out could set a new record. That's partly because Ukraine and Russia usually export a lot of the world's wheat and corn.
It will have global context, impact beyond anything we've seen since World War II.
And China's new COVID-19 lockdowns are making it hard for supply chains to recover from the pandemic. Oil prices dipped a bit this week. That's after Russia said it would ease up its assault on parts of Ukraine. But
I think we should be clear-eyed about the reality of what's happening on the ground, and no one should be fooled by Russia's announcements.
It's called rockets and feathers, meaning when the price goes up of the price per barrel, that means your gas station price goes up like a rocket. When the price comes down per barrel, the gas station price comes down like a feather.
prices from the last month demonstrate what she's saying. Here they are for oil and gas. And here's a forecast into next year. U.S. oil producers aren't increasing drilling much to help. CEOs say investor pressure is restraining growth, according to a Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas survey.
Because of gas, we are, as of right now, no, we are definitely not taking our family vacation this year. It'll be more or less a trip to the lake.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A Republican is planning to support Biden's Supreme Court nomination. And Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is facing calls for his resignation for both health concerns and political scandal. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Consumer DNA testing, used by millions to research their family history. But the results can be life-changing.
I said, oh my God, you're my sister.
Without my DNA, it would have been dead in the water. They quite possibly saved my life.
Do you know what you're signing up for?
This is something that's truly new.
Secrets in Our DNA on Nova.
Coming up on the next Song of the Mountains. Lively performances where old tradition meets new, here on Song of the Mountains.
This is an animal you should never underestimate.
Squirrels are one of the most agile animals on Earth.
From outwitting rattlesnakes to surviving sub-zero temperatures, squirrels are anything but ordinary. Now one orphaned red squirrel and a cast of cheeky characters are going to reveal the secret to squirrel success.
On expedition.
I'm with an expert team pushing deep into South America's pristine jungle.
It's the middle of nowhere.
To find a lost world never before seen by human eyes.
What do you think? We're completely on our own. It looks pretty intimidating. Watch your road! It's incredible.
These places are absolute treasures, and we have to do everything we can to protect them.
We came here looking for lost worlds. We found one.
Expedition. Tune in or stream Wednesday at 10/9 Central, only on PBS.
Big news on Capitol Hill. A Republican will back Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson. Senator Susan Collins of Maine is the first Republican to announce plans to support President Biden's pick for the High Court. After hearing Jackson's testimony and meeting with her twice, Collins says she believes Jackson, quote, possesses the experience, qualifications, and integrity to serve as an associate justice on the Supreme Court. With Democrats holding the majority, there's little question of Jackson's confirmation, but Collins' support means it'll be bipartisan. The Judiciary Committee is expected to vote on the nomination on April 4th. While Congress votes for Ketanji Brown Jackson, a current justice's health is being brought into question. Justice Clarence Thomas is facing calls for him to resign after the 73-year-old justice was released from the hospital. Democrats are calling for him to resign or at least recuse himself from cases involving the January 6th attack on the Capitol after newly revealed texts show his wife pushed top White House officials to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. People are calling for Chief Justice John Roberts to take action, but he is not Justice Thomas's boss. But Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell is defending Thomas.
I have total confidence in Justice Thomas' impartiality in every aspect of the work of the court. Each of the 9 justices should feel free to make every single judicial decision they make with total independence and complete freedom. What cases they hear, how they hear them, how they rule, whether and when they recuse themselves, and whether and when they retire. These are all judicial decisions.
Democrats are calling for ethics legislation that would apply to Supreme Court justices. As it stands now, the justices decide for themselves when they should step down from a case. An update on the Ohio redistricting effort as meetings continue this week. But for now, just hours after Moscow claimed it, it would reduce military activity in parts of northern Ukraine. Sorry for the hiccup. The mayor of Chernihiv claims Russia carried out an attack on his town. The scale down of Russian troops was supposed to follow the talks in Turkey yesterday, but Ukrainian authorities say Moscow has not relented in its attack against Chernihiv and Kyiv. Chris Wynn has the latest from Washington.
Ukrainian cities under attack, despite Russia's claim that it would scale back. The northern city of Chernihiv, hit by Russian airstrikes, as shelling continued through the night.
This is yet another confirmation that Russia always lies. And they are saying about the reducing intensity, they actually have increased the intensity of strikes.
In the south, officials in Mykolaiv say several people died after a regional government building was attacked. Civilians who remain living in a constant state of fear.
They are trying to hide in bomb shelters, try not to be outside as much as they can. But we never know when the hit can happen.
New satellite images show entire blocks destroyed in the port city of Mariupol, including a Red Cross warehouse.
It's also dangerous to go out, even to cook or to bury your dead. So it's the city of mass grave.
And this video from the Ukrainian Witness Project shows the full extent of the devastation left behind in the western Kyiv suburb of Irpin. More than 4 million people have fled Ukraine since the start of the invasion last month. Wednesday, President Joe Biden spoke over the phone with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, promising Ukraine $500 million in direct budgetary aid. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn reporting.
NASA astronaut Mark Vande Hey and 2 Russian cosmonauts who were on the Soyuz MS-19 spacecraft are back on Earth and in good shape. The craft landed in Kazakhstan Wednesday morning local time. Recovery crews were on hand to help the crew get out of the capsule, and the 3 astronauts will soon be heading to their native countries. Vande Hey's 355-day mission was historic, breaking the record for the longest single space flight by a U.S. astronaut. NASA officials say this mission helped pave the way for, quote, future human explorers on the moon, Mars, and beyond. During the mission, Vande Hey and Russian cosmonaut Pyotr Dubrov traveled more than 150 million miles around the planet. COVID-era travel restrictions may soon be lifted. That story still ahead.
And we're tracking some active weather out towards our west. What does this mean for our region? I'll talk about it more in my full forecast, but for now, take a look at stocks of local interest.
Consumer DNA testing, used by millions to research their family history. But the results can be life-changing.
I said, oh my God, you're my sister.
Without my DNA, it would have been dead in the water. They quite possibly saved my life.
Do you know what you're signing up for?
This is something that's truly new.
Secrets in Our DNA on Nova.
This is an animal you should never underestimate.
Squirrels are one of the most agile animals on Earth.
From outwitting rattlesnakes to surviving sub-zero temperatures, squirrels are anything but ordinary. Now one orphaned red squirrel and a cast of cheeky characters are going to reveal the secret to squirrel success.
Come explore the wondrous journey of the monarch butterfly while witnessing every stage of metamorphosis, from egg to caterpillar to chrysalis to adult. Discover how we can all help the monarch on its perilous journey. By imagining the world through a butterfly's eyes, you too can take part in this marvel of the magnificent monarch butterfly.
When I look at some papers or talk to my collaborators, there's some nice idea, I feel really fascinated. It's like listening to music or seeing an amazing drawing. It's really like art.
Mariam Mirzakhani's pioneering work gave mathematicians powerful new tools for understanding the geometry of surfaces.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm your lead forecaster, Erin Ashley, and I really hope that you've had the chance today to get outside and enjoy some really nice temperatures and some dry conditions because tonight, is going to be anything but that. Tonight, we're looking at a 70% chance of showers, and that's because of a cold front moving through our region, and that's going to cause our temperature to drop down a little bit to 57 degrees, and that's going to happen heading over into midnight. But unfortunately, that's because of this severe weather system that is happening out towards our west. You're going to start to see that this long line of clouds is just going to push over here into our region, and that's going to cause for all that rain to start to stir up overnight. But because of some factors that are happening in the upper atmosphere dynamics, we're looking at this system sort of weakening actually as it pushes into our region. So as we continue, if you are looking and tracking the storm throughout the day today, it's bringing things such as severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings even, but once it reaches our area, it should not be anything too severe. We are looking at rain showers and maybe a crack of thunder or two. But again, that's going to be causing this severe weather outlook. As you're going to see down here in the red, we are tracking some very severe weather down here in the south, and that's going to transition up towards the north a little bit. And then heading into tomorrow, you're going to see that cold front start to push in, and that's going to cause for some pretty chilly temperatures. Not intensely chilly that we might have seen earlier throughout the week, but it's going to drop down because of that rain. So we're in for a little bit of a cool down. And again, as we look into tomorrow, expect for that sheet of rain to start pushing into our region, and we've got a little bit of a slight risk for some severe weather, but again, the main hazards are going to be thunderstorms and heavy rainfall as well as heavy winds, So tomorrow, expect a 40% chance of showers and a high of 70 degrees, so it's going to be a pretty nice day as far as temperature goes, but again, it's going to be pretty gloomy because of all those rain showers that we're seeing. But temperatures are going to drop pretty low tomorrow, around 37 degrees, pretty close to freezing, so make sure you grab your jacket if you have an early morning commute on Friday. So all those temperatures that we're seeing dropping close is because of this cold front, again, that is moving through tomorrow night. And we're seeing, again, some chance for rain heading into tomorrow as well as Friday. And as temperatures near that freezing mark, expect to see a chance for a little bit of wintry mix, unfortunately. A really weird transition, very sudden, but that's Ohio weather for you. So as we head into the 3-day outlook, Thursday again, 40% chance of showers and a high of 70 degrees. Expect that cold front to cause temperatures to drop to a high of 49 degrees on Friday. Mostly cloudy skies throughout into the weekend. And so as we look into the weekend forecast, expect those temperatures to rise a little bit to 59 degrees as your high, but clouds are just going to persist. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, mostly cloudy skies. And so as we look to the 7-day outlook, expect those clouds to stick around all throughout the weekend and early into next week. We're tracking a warm up as well as a little bit of some rain heading into the midweek next week, but as always, stay tuned. Back to you, Curtis.
Excellent analysis, Erin. Thank you. A Cleveland Clinic doctor is recommending a second booster shot for people older than 50 years old. Federal health officials approved the second booster yesterday. And today, President Joe Biden received his second COVID-19 booster. It came after he delivered a speech urging lawmakers to secure more funding for his administration's COVID-19 response. The White House has been warning things like free vaccinations and COVID testing are at risk if more money isn't freed up for them. Biden specifically noted without additional funding, free booster shots may not be available for everyone in the fall. That could prove especially problematic if there's another surge of the virus. Currently, second booster shots are only authorized for people 50 and older. Also today, the Biden administration plans to end pandemic restrictions on the U.S. border with Mexico very soon, according to multiple sources. The Trump-era policy known as Title 42 has blocked most immigrants from entering the United States since March of 2020. The Biden administration has been under mounting pressure from Democrats and immigrant advocates to end the public health authority. Critics say it was never justified by science and that it puts immigrants in harm's way. According to 3 officials, the authority will end in May. Spokeswoman for the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says it's expected to announce a decision this week. If the order is lifted, Homeland Security Department officials are preparing for a worst-case scenario.
When the CDC ultimately decides it's appropriate to lift Title 42, there will be an influx of people to the border. And so we are doing a lot of work to plan for that contingency. I think you saw yesterday the Department of Homeland Security did a briefing walking through some of the planning that they're doing to increase efficiency, to ensure that we have the capacity, to ensure that we are operating in a way that is treating migrants humanely.
Coming up in sports, hear from Ohio softball outfielder Tori Walker ahead of their weekend series against Miami. But right after the break, both the men's and women's golf teams are in South Carolina. Stick around to see how both those teams fared. And stay tuned to WOUB after the show. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Thanks to viewers like you, we've been able to tell America's stories on this PBS station. Help us continue to tell these stories now and for future generations by including this station in your charitable plans.
Supporting this PBS station through a gift in your will is easy. To find out more, call the number on your screen or visit this website. Thank you.
Come explore the wondrous journey of the monarch butterfly while witnessing every stage of metamorphosis, from egg to caterpillar to chrysalis to adult. Discover how we can all help the monarch on its perilous journey. By imagining the world through a butterfly's eyes, you too can take part in this marvel of the magnificent monarch butterfly.
The American identity begins when Benjamin Franklin knit the American colonies together.
Franklin is endlessly interesting.
Printer, scientist, revolutionary.
He is the only founding father who evidently had a sense of humor.
His vision is broader than the American Revolution.
The things that he spoke of, that he wrote about, had a certain amount of power.
He really was an American genius.
Benjamin Franklin starts Monday, April 4th on PBS and the PBS app.
When I look at some papers or talk to my collaborators, there's some nice idea, I feel really fascinated. It's like listening to music or seeing an amazing drawing. It's really like art.
Mariam Mirzakhani's pioneering work gave mathematicians powerful new tools for understanding the geometry of surfaces.
Hello everyone, I'm Bryce Tinson. The Ohio men's golf team is walking off the green after a good showing at the Golf Week Any Given Tuesday Intercollegiate. The 3-day event in Pawleys Island, South Carolina wrapped up today after 3 rounds of play. The Bobcats came in today's final round as the 4th place team after shooting .294 both Monday and yesterday. They started 10 strokes behind the leader but couldn't gain ground after shooting 1 over today. Ohio placed 5th out of 9 teams in the tournament. Zach Mandry and Sam Hogan were phenomenal for the Bobcats, shooting 1 under and 1 over through the 3-day tournament, finishing 7th and 10th individually. They take a couple of weeks off before heading to the Wright State Invitational April 17th. The Ohio women's golf team is also in Pawleys Island for the same tournament. The Bobcats shot .307 Monday and .312 yesterday, placing them 11th coming into the final round. They shot a rough +28 today, their worst of the tournament. They finished 14th in the final standings. Mariana Vega Rivera and Catherine Loftus led the way for Ohio, finishing tied 14th and tied 41st, respectively, out of 91 total golfers. The women are back at it April 9th with the Dolores Black Falcon Invitational in Bowling Green. Ohio baseball's weekend series against Central Michigan has been adjusted. The first game was set to take place Friday, but because of weather forecasts in Mount Pleasant, the series has been shifted back one day. First pitch is scheduled for Saturday at 2. The doubleheader is moved to Sunday starting at noon with a 7-inning game followed by a 9-inning matchup. The series concludes Monday with first pitch scheduled for 1. The Ohio softball team heads to Oxford this weekend to take on the Miami Redhawks in the Battle of the Bricks. Miami comes in boasting a 9-game win streak. If the Bobcats want to snap it, their pitchers have to be lights out from the circle. The Redhawks have scored at least 7 runs in 7 of the 9 games. In Ohio's last 9 games, they've given up more than 6 runs just 3 times. Right fielder Tori Walker says focus is the most important thing.
Stay focused and do what we can do best and try not to let the umpires take the game away from us or not let ourselves, because we're going to be out there home field. So we got to do what we can control and do what we can do best.
The series starts Friday at 5. The Columbus Blue Jackets are recovering after dropping a crucial game last night to the New York Islanders. The Jackets got on the board first with an early period goal, but the Islanders answered with 2 goals in the second and 2 in the first to take a 4-1 lead. Columbus did their best to come back with a third period goal, but fell 4-3. Jackets defenseman Vladislav Garakov, the standout for Columbus in this one. He scored 2 goals on the night, bringing his season total to 5. It is imperative the Jackets get back on track with just 15 games left in the season. They trail the Washington Capitals by 15 points for the last playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. That's it for sports. Back to you, Curtis.
Thanks, Bryce. Coming soon to a television near you. The dog that acts like a rabbit impersonating a chicken, better known as the Cadbury Bunny. Cadbury holds an annual contest for its Cadbury Bunny cream egg commercials, and America gets to choose the winner. This year, an adorable English doodle from Ohio named Annie Rose received the most votes. Annie Rose is a therapy dog who visits local nursing homes. In addition to being Cadbury's big star, Annie Rose will take home $5,000 in cash and, of course, those iconic bunny ears.
And taking one final look at your weather for tomorrow, expect to see the rain as we see the rain chances improve and increase actually into the night tonight. And so tomorrow, the SPC has issued a slight chance for severe weather for our area tomorrow. And that's the main hazards are going to be from high winds and heavy rainfall and even some thunderstorms or 2. But again, be on the lookout for stuff like that tomorrow, because tomorrow, again, we have that 40% chance of showers and a high of 70 degrees, and a cold front is going to move through our region, dropping low temperatures to 37 degrees overnight tomorrow. Here's a look at your week ahead. Expect those clouds to stick around into the weekend. It's going to be pretty gloomy, but temperatures will start rising as soon as Saturday. We're going to increase about 10 degrees from Friday to Saturday with a high of 59 degrees. And then temperatures are going to stick in the upper 50s and rise to the lower 60s as soon as Monday. But again, those clouds will stick around and we will see rain chances again as soon as Tuesday with a 40% chance of showers. So again, I hope you guys have been able to get out and enjoy this absolutely beautiful weather we've seen today, because it is not here to stick around.
That is a shame. I mean, I brought my shades in. Let me just clarify, it matches my shirt, not the yellow tie. Apparently, I mistaken that. We're all wearing red today, by the way. Congratulations. We all coordinate so well.
I think that's a pretty impressive feat. I do. I'm ready for kickball tonight, though. You guys ready?
Oh, absolutely. Those temperatures.
I'm going
exactly.
I've been stretching under the desk, by the way, just preparing for it. And by the way, I think this is a good look. I really think that we can pull the look off inside, but I guess that's for another day. But that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you for watching. I'm Curtis Fader, and stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. From Aaron Ashley, Bryce Tinson, and I, have a great night.
Support comes from Goldsberry Wealth Strategies in Athens and Parkersburg, focusing on helping people achieve a life well lived with a custom strategy.